What is up, everyone? Today we are on the Marvel Rivals test client, and I will be going over the new limited time game mode, explaining the basics of Ultron's Battle Matrix Protocol. If you've played other auto battle style games like Teamfight Tactics, you'll have a decent understanding of how this all works, but of course there are some unique mechanics that you'll need to learn. In essence, you choose a team of heroes which automatically fight an enemy team of heroes. Your heroes will use their normal abilities and ultimates and function in the same type of role as you'd expect: vanguards, duelists, and strategists. The hard part is modifying your team with the right passive choices to win the battle. I won't be going into any super detailed, in-depth strategy. This is merely a rundown of what is going on and what to expect so you can form your own strategies. The game mode is a lot of fun and surprisingly fleshed out already. I hope they make it permanent, but anyway, let's get into how it all works. Okay, so from the main menu, we'll go into Ultron's Battle Matrix Protocol. Here we go, here's where you can play, but before we start, I just want to point out at the top here, these little icons. The eye will actually explain the basic rules of the game. You know, if you lose the round against a player, you lose life. When you're out of life, you're eliminated entirely. It's kind of a lot to read, but it's worth reading just so you understand what's going on if you're new to this genre. But one thing that's really important for basically anybody is down here where it says Hero Targeting Logic Instructions. So it's going to kind of guide you on specific characters, what they're programmed to target. So for a lot of the characters, it's going to be just the nearest enemy. So whatever's closest to them, they'll shoot, they'll hit, whatever it is, right? Whether it's Bucky, Squirrel Girl, Storm, Punisher, Hulk, Doctor Strange, doesn't matter, right? They're going to hit whatever's closest to them. It kind of makes sense with what their character's purpose is in normal Marvel Rivals. But some characters prioritize the enemy with the lowest maximum health. So that's like the diving characters: Venom, Captain America, BP Magic, but Black Widow's on this list as well. Spider-Man, Psylocke, and Scarlet Witch. And then, of course, prioritize the enemy with the highest max health is only Wolverine. So it's just important to kind of know this. It helps, when you're trying to build your team. If you want to build a dive team, now you know who you can include on that list. Also, the little icon beside the eye up here, you click on that, and it's going to explain the modules to you. So these are the things that you're buying each round to modify your team. So these base modules, these protocols, they will modify your entire team in a way. So the Fortress ones, Protocol Fortress, are all for the Vanguards. And there's 3 different rarities of these: blue, purple, and yellow. Like, rare, epic, legendary, that type of stuff. So Onslaught is all for duelists. Reboot is for all the support or strategist characters. And then Equilibrium is for your entire team, but they scale based off how many unique roles you have. So if you're running a team that's all Vanguards, like 6 Vanguards, this will not do much for you, right? It'll help a little bit, but you're only going to get, for each unique role, reduce ally heroes' damage taken by 1%. You only have one unique role, which is Vanguard. You're only getting 1%. But if you're using, all 3, Vanguard, Strategist, Duelist, boom, you're going to get more value out of these. So these are for, if you're playing a more balanced team, you're going to go for Equilibrium protocols. Now, just below that on the list, it will show you the modules that you can use. So the protocols are for the whole team. The modules are for specific heroes. And these, you'll only be offered every once in a while when you have a PvE round against some Galactica bots. But basically, these are things that you can choose that will power up people on your team. Pretty powerful, actually, most of them. They'll change the way that you play. For example, Hela shoots more projectiles. Human Torch does percentage damage. There's a whole bunch of them that you can read through and basically get a general idea of what's going on and what you can modify for each individual character. Okay, so on the test server, there's not enough people, so I basically have to play against bots. So I'm going to fire up a custom game here. I'm going to walk you through what's going on. So we start up, and we can pick any of these characters. Every character is in the game technically, but it just offers random ones to everybody to start. Everyone gets offered the same characters, okay? 6 duelists, 6 tanks, 6 support. So you can pick your favorite characters. You can do any combination here. I could pick 5 tanks and 1 healer. I could pick 6 duelists, whatever you want, okay? What I typically do is kind of look for synergies if I can find them, or I just pick my favorite characters that I feel like playing, okay? So here I think we'll do Venom. I think we'll pick Magneto. We'll pick a balanced team. How about something different like Iron Fist, Moon Knight, and then for supports, how about Invisible Woman and Mantis? So we can lock that in. We've got a 2-2-2 team comp. You could have, again, you could have picked anything that you wanted there. Okay, so the first thing that's going to pop up is this screen. There's a lot going on this screen, so we'll try and break it down. Basically, I have 10 currency. This is the currency that everyone starts off with, and it's showing you that I'm going to get plus 16 for this round. If you mouse over here, it'll break it down for you. Okay? Now, I can choose to take one of these, or I don't have to take it. Anytime I want to open that menu again, I just press B. But now it's saying select position, because the first fight is actually going to start in a few seconds here. But I already know it's against just the galactic bots. It's easy. I don't need to move anyone around. So we're just going to watch this first fight, and then we'll explain the other menus. So our boys jump in. Everyone fights. The mobs are no problem. They die really quick. So here's the first important choice that you have. We're going to pick a module for one of my characters. And this is actually like very powerful, and it's changing the way the character works. You can refresh once. I can only pick one of these, or I can refresh and see 3 other ones. So we'll refresh just for the, for the video. And in this case, I think I'll take this buff for Invisible Woman. It seems like it's really powerful so far. We'll select this. If you don't pick one by the time runs out, it'll randomly select one for you. Okay. So this screen, we can kind of go over. You're going to be in and out of this screen many, many times. So now it's going to offer me 4 new modules. If I've decided that I really want to play a certain team comp, this is where you're going to start carving that out for yourself. But let's just try and explain what's actually happening here. So on the left-hand side over here, we've got the blue, red, green, and purple things. These icons. And they all say 0 out of 10. That's basically how many enhancements have I selected for that category. So the blue is Vanguard category. So if I just buy this, you'll see it now switches to 1 of 10. If I click on this, it'll actually show you the passive bonus that it gives you once you level it up. I'm just going to ignore all the fights for now while we explain this. Okay? So if I get 10 total XP in this, so I have to select 10 of these 5-cost basic abilities, basic passive buffs, this will level up to level 2, and we'll get all my heroes will gain 120 health plus whatever other bonuses that these will give you. For example, this reduces Vanguard's damage taken by 6%. So if I take 10 of those, I'll level this up, plus I'll get more max health for all my characters. And if I was playing many tanks, that would be a good strategy, right? I'm reducing the damage that I take, and I'm getting more health. All of these have different buffs. For example, 10 points in Duelist is plus 12% damage. The next tier is 20 points, so it would be another 12. And the tier after that is 40 points, which then would give me 24% more. These stack, so this would be 48% damage total. Strategist increases the amount of healing. And then Equilibrium is for all characters. It increases the damage and healing and their max health. So a little bit of everything is what Equilibrium gives you. But again, Equilibrium is only good if you're playing a team like mine that's like 2-2-2 or 1-3-2 or something like that. If you're 6 Vanguards, you don't want to deal with Equilibrium too much. So an important thing to note, so we've kind of seen this, and sorry, this the Strengthen module down here. This is the big buffs to individual characters that we've selected. So we've got Vanguards, Duelists, Strategists, everybody, and then specific character buffs. And we only get to select these when we kill the Galactica bots. So anyway, we've got that figured out. Again, you can check this. This was the same book that was on the page beforehand. You could look at this. I mean, you're not really going to use it in game much. And the rules are here as well. But again, you're probably not going to read that in the middle of a game. We'll take a better look at here when you actually buy things. So you'll notice here, if I mouse over where my currency is. So at this point now, I have 62 currency. I'm going to gain plus 21 this round. But if we break it down, you'll see this says interest, max 5, and I'm earning 5. Basically, if I end a round and I have 50 or more currency, I'll get 5 interest. It's basically like a 10% interest rate. If you have 10 currency, you'll gain 1. If you have 20 currency, you'll gain 2. 33, 44, 55. So ideally, if you want to be as efficient as you can be, you'll want to keep over 50 currency for as long as you can to max out that interest. It's only, 1 or 2 extra currency, but it adds up, right? Especially when you're playing like a 30, 40 round game. So that kind of explains that. If you go on a winning streak, you'll get extra. If you go on a losing streak, you'll get extra. And selling income is because you can actually sell the perks that you buy. So I only bought that one so far. I could sell this. I get 4 currency back, even though I paid 5 for it. Okay, so that's kind of how that works. Now, what we're going to do, we're just going to buy these quickly. Okay, so we're going to buy all the purple ones. And I'm basically going to refresh, and I'm going to buy to make sure I'm still above 50. Okay, so we'll buy some red ones too. I don't really care what they are. And now we're going to stop, so we're at 50. So I still get my maximum income, and I've bought a whole bunch of strength for my team. Now, normally with a team like this, again, I'm not going to get into big strategy, but I'm playing a 2-2-2 team comp right now. I would probably buying lots of purple things. Maybe I would just buy purple, refresh, buy more purple. I'm trying to buff my whole team because I'm playing all the different roles. But it's up to you. Again, there's a million different strategies, right? So what we'll explain next here is you can actually change a character. Okay, so a new round is starting. It's going to offer me 4 new modules. Okay, I'll just buy this for the sake of it. But let's say I don't like how my Iron Fist is performing. I can go change hero, and for 5, I can basically, for example, with duelists, it's going to offer me 6 duelists. Okay, here's the 6 that it offered me. And I can replace any of my characters with one of these duelists. So you know what? We're going to get rid of Iron Fist, and we're going to swap him for Squirrel Girl. Okay? So now we got Squirrel Girl on the battlefield here. So that's the other menu here, change hero. It's pretty simple. You can't guarantee who you're going to get offered, right? If, I wanted to switch one of my supports and say, well, I want to get Loki, there's no guarantee that I'm going to get Loki. All right? It's only 1 of 3 random that aren't already selected by you. So it's a little bit of a gamble, and sometimes if you're trying to build team comps, you might have to do it, multiple times, but that's how it works. Okay? So we destroyed the Galactica bots, and we're being offered a powerful ability again. You'll notice some of them scale. For example, Venom gets permanent health. We'll take that one. Okay, so what we just selected here is whenever Venom ults, whenever he uses his Q, he permanently gains 10% of the damage dealt as max health up to 1200, and it enlarges him. Pretty easy to understand that. Okay, so now I'm actually going to kind of put my team how you normally would. So we're going to put the ranged in the back with the supports, and we're going to put the tanks out front. It's literally just point and drag and whatever. It's very easy to put them how you want. It does take some practice to kind of learn how certain characters interact. Just like their tendencies. Like the Thing, for example, will use his his charge, and he'll like run around through the whole battlefield. So positioning him at the back might work better. He's kind of awkward, but you basically got to watch your characters and kind of see what they do and see how they interact. That enemy team just got smashed, but anyway, that's a whole separate thing. But you can basically kind of do it your way. You could put everyone in a line. You could stuff everyone in a corner. You can spread everyone out. Certain team comps will have certain disadvantages and advantages to do that. Okay, so we won the round super quick. We've got extra time to sit here and you can go back in the menus or whatever. We're going to go in here. We're going to look for more purples, okay? I want to get to 10, so this levels up. So then I can show you what's happening. We got offered none, none, none. Wow, great. Okay, so as soon as this levels up, you're going to see this 100% is going to go down, and this number is going to go up. Okay? So what that means is I have a 96% chance of being offered just a basic 5-cost, blue passive, right? Blue tier passive, not the Vanguard passives. So basically the lowest tier, but I have a 4% chance that they're going to offer me a higher tier passive that's going to be in this purple category. So So if we just try refreshing, I doubt we're going to get one since we only have 4. But we'll just keep buying purples anyway. Maybe we'll see one. No. As the game goes on, you'll see. And then once you get 20 points in one category, you'll have a very low chance to get like an epic upgrade here, a legendary upgrade. Okay? So now also that we're in tier 2 of the purple, we've earned enough, we've bought enough passives that we have tier 2 purple. You'll see that now this is lit up and all my allies got 20 extra health per unique roll and 2% increased damage and healing per unique roll. So I have all 3 rolls on my team. I have healers, tanks, and duelists. I get triple whatever bonus it says here. Okay? That's pretty easy to understand. Here it's showing you the XP. So if I get offered an advanced upgrade and I buy it, I'll get 2 XP towards this 14 out of 20. Basically, I mean, to really kind of simplify, make it simple, is you're buying passives. You're trying to focus on categories that make sense for your team. You could spread it out more. My experience with that is that it's not nearly as effective as really focusing on the kind of team comp that you're doing. If you're playing 6 duelists, you want to get a whole bunch of red ones. If you're playing 4 vanguards and 2 support, you want a whole bunch of blue and some green. And even then, just reading what they do, it'll take time for you guys to kind of catch up on that and understand what you're looking at. But I mean, that's the basics of the buying and the selling and the characters. I want to mention as well that you can actually lock one of these. Basically, if you press the lock button here, it'll lock everything that's still on here. But if I buy one, let's say I buy this one and then I hit lock, basically it's going to fill in the gap. So the next time the store would refresh, like at the start of next round, it will offer me the same 3 that I locked here, right? Which we can see in a second here. It'll offer me these same 3 will stay there, and it'll refresh the one that I didn't buy. So sometimes if you want to keep your interest rate going, you don't want to spend all your money or whatever, you can lock the store, wait for the next round, and then buy it. Okay, so here's a tier 2 one. Notice how it costs 10. So if I buy this, this will go up by 2 XP. All right? Okay, so we understand we buy these to upgrade this. These give us upgrades as well, and they offer us, as we level these up, we get the passive bonuses, and they offer us better upgrades here in the middle. Okay? We know we can look at all the ones that we've bought, we can sell them, or we can downgrade them if we have multiple tiers of them. And we know that we can change characters. All right, so let's look at combat here. So combat starts, and you'll notice in the bottom right-hand corner of my screen that I have down here, I have a left shift and an E. My left shift will do this right now, just once per fight. It lightning bolts everybody on the enemy team, okay? Everybody that's still alive on the enemy team gets hit by a lightning bolt. Now if I hit E, it heals everyone on my team, only once. It doesn't make a huge impact, especially in the later rounds of the game. It makes a very small impact. It's practically non-existent. If you really pay attention to a fight, you could maybe save someone's life and long enough for them to get healed by someone else, or you could maybe kill somebody. I actually got a triple kill with my shift once. But overall, it doesn't really make a huge difference in the fight. Other than like the first 5-6 rounds, it's actually pretty noticeable. If you don't want to think about it too much, you could literally start the round, hit shift, wait a few seconds and hit E after your teammates have taken some damage, and whatever, that's fine. But if you're really watching the fight, you might be able to get a pick on somebody or save somebody's life. All right, but anyway, we're gonna watch the next fight here. Oh, this is against Galactica bots. Now, one thing I want to point out as well is that you can actually shoot Ultron's gun here, and it makes like a hit sound, but it doesn't actually do any damage. As far as I can tell, it does nothing. So it's not stated anywhere if it does anything, but it doesn't appear to me like it does. So his attack, I basically use it to draw on the battlefield, and that's it. Now, when I'm learning the characters, also I just want to point out that I got this over 10, so now we unlock this passive, right? Increase all my allies' damage output. and now the math changed. This went down again, and now I have a better chance at getting better upgrades. Okay? But when it comes to setting up the team, you just got to experiment with it. I mean, certain characters do certain things, and the way they kind of behave is all different. And it's fun to place them away from each other and then kind of watch the fight and really pay attention and see what they're doing. Especially as the fights, they start to get longer and longer as the game goes on. Sometimes you have like 90-second long fights. You can kind of really see what your characters are actually doing. But for the most part in combat, I mean, shooting doesn't do anything. I'm watching my team. Here I'm going to hit shift, lightning bolt everybody. I'm going to hit E and heal my team, and whatever. We destroyed them anyway. But I'm basically looking for the functionality of my teammates and just seeing, hey, is this the team comp that makes sense? Does Moon Knight, make sense with Magneto and Squirrel Girl? Like, actually watching the fight can sometimes help a lot and understand how your team is performing and what you should maybe change. Okay, so I got this over 20. We now have the second tier of this as well, and you can see that I now have a 1.5% chance at getting the best style of upgrade, the legendary upgrade. So we'll cycle through this a little bit, see if we got one. This would be amazing. All these purple that they're offering me is pretty good when you're using a team like mine. But the next thing I want to point out is up here, it says Ultron Drone 5. That's who I'm going to fight next, okay? And if you scroll through this here, you can actually click on Ultron Drone 5, and I can see his team comp, I can see his upgrades. So if you're really paying attention and you start to learn how different matchups work, you could potentially scout them out, maybe move your characters into a different spot, maybe change certain passives, all kinds of stuff that you could do. It just takes time and skill and knowledge, and I don't expect anyone to know it to begin with, right? So if I hit 1 and 2 on my keyboard, I can switch between seeing the health status of everybody and actually how my characters performed in the last fight. So examining this screen really quick, it shows that this green thing means I'm on a 10-game win streak, and this guy's on a 3-game, and all these guys are on losing streaks. 50 is how much health I have left. 37 is how much currency I have. Okay? So that's a quick summary of this screen, and then again, I can click on anybody, not just my next opponent. I can go look at anybody else's team. These guys are still fighting. So you can go examine the other teams and watch them and study them while you're waiting for something to do, right? If I hit number 2 here, I can see my Venom blocked. Oh, sorry, it's gone. My Venom blocked 249 damage. He did 334. Magneto blocked 370, only did 47. Squirrel Girl carried. She did 1848 damage, but she only got hit once. You can see how your healers are doing. You can basically kind of look at the stats and just see, wait a sec, why did he do no damage? Well, the whole fight was over in like a second, but in a longer fight, you might be like, huh? So then maybe you pay more attention to Magneto. So that's on this side here. The 1 and 2 screen is basically a summary of what the other players are doing and how your characters are functioning. Yeah, other than that, I appreciate you guys watching. That was a quick rundown of the basics. I will be playing this game mode a lot when it comes out and trying to climb the leaderboards. So I'll see you on my stream, twitch.tv/Silvis66. And if you have any questions, just ask in the comments and I'll try and answer. Thanks for watching, guys.